Welcome back to the Right Corner YouTube channel. You are back again for the Samzim political updates. What are Zimbabwean politicians saying on X, formerly Twitter? What is happening in and outside Zimbabwe? Unfiltered information and updates, reporting it as it is here on the Right Corner YouTube channel. We are still looking at Jacob of the recalling of Citizens Coalition for Change members of Parliament by Honorable Jacob Mudenda, and this follows a claim from Sengezo Chabangu, who claims to be the interim Citizens Coalition for Change Secretary General, and wrote to Jacob Mudenda to recall 15 members of Parliament from CCC. And we are looking at the development of the story is still making noise on social media. Social media is a buzz with the recalling of CCC members of Parliament. And meanwhile, operating on the multiple award-winning investigative journalist has commented on his X account as he wrote that I have seen cause for CCC to pull out all its members of Parliament from Parliament in protest to yesterday's ruling by the Speaker of Parliament. My view is that pulling out in mass has no value unless you have a nuclear option to take on the regime on another terrain. Political decisions should be based on strategic thinking and not emotions and anger alone. Pulling out all members of Parliament will accentuate the cracks in CCC because, as I said last week, Parliament is a job for many of our members of Parliament, both in CCC and Zanu PF. Pulling them out is removing the means to earn a living for them for the next 5 years unless you have a plan on what will happen after you pull out. Some Citizens Coalition for Change MPs would define Nelson Chamisa if he orders a pullout, and it will further loosen his grip both on the party and national politics. Both being popular without instruments to effect tangible political decisions is pointless. Let ZANU-PF and its surrogates continue to make their ridiculous rulings in Parliament. This exposes it to the rest of the world as has happened. Yesterday, senior ANC member and former Finance Minister Dr. Tito Mboweni responded to the recalls because they are ridiculous by the Speaker of Parliament. If Nelson Chamisa had pulled out all his MPs without the recalls taking place, there would be nothing to respond to for people like Dr. Mboweni. In other words, don't make the job easy for ZANU-PF. You were elected, stay there until they remove you illegally and let the world see it. I advise Morgan Tsvangirai against not contesting the June 2015 by-elections in urban areas after recalling some of his members of Parliament after the second dispute. He was very upset, angry and very emotional because of what had led to those by-elections. ZANU-PF simply got the 16 seats on a platter and life carried on. Those seats were under ZANU-PF for 3 years. Those constituencies were left with no real representation in Parliament. If Chamisa pulls out all his MPs, ZANU-PF will do what it has done in the past. Zeki will say it has no money for by-elections and we will have a ZANU-PF Parliament until 2028. Is that what you want? Let us learn from history and not make the same mistakes. Unless CCC has a nuclear option, those MPs should stay in Parliament. But if CCC has a viable option that won't allow another 5 years of a ZANU-PF Parliament, then they can do it. Leaders should make decisions based on a strategy and not what is popular with supporters. Sancho said, the greatest victory is that which requires no battle. By pulling out MPs from Parliament, CCC would have handed victory to ZANU-PF on a silver platter without working for it. ZANU-PF doesn't care about parliamentary legitimacy. Put simply, ZANU-PF doesn't care. So our arguments should not be hinged on moral conduct, but strategy, because ZANU-PF doesn't operate with a moral compass. This was operating on advising the Citizens Coalition for Change that they shouldn't pull out of parliament, as he aligned out the reasons why. And like always, the members of the public were triggered as they reacted with mixed emotions, as another Twitter user by the name Futurist said Chamisa should call for a demonstration, even a stay away, nothing should work until ED steps down. As Saddam said, this isn't really a balanced view. On the other side, if some of the CCC MPs are to stay in parliament, they will be doing so on ZANU-PF mercy. They are asked to show allegiance to ZANU-PF or get axed out of parliament. It's a tricky situation that requires to look at both sides and weigh. On point, and at Nelson Chamisa must participate in any platform that will result in reforming the electoral environment and not grandstanding always. We need change and people are tired of these tag wars. At Nelson Chamisa, here is some piece of advice. Daddy Hope warned about what is happening now, but he was slandered. Positive criticism should not be taken as yet. The cause is the same for everyone. Bringing about change in this broken nation. When the CCC MPs boycotted ED State of the Nation address, Daddy Hope wrote on this platform, masquerading as highlighting what would be repercussions of it by ZANU-PF of government, yet you were informing ZANU-PF the course of action to take against CCC Judas Iscariot. Someone said, well said, factual. The nuclear option, everyone knows what that is for indefinite demo to put an end to this. This were the people reacting on X, reacting to Hope Shingono's message on Twitter. Let's get to hear what you think about all this. Thank you for watching.